There are moments that define more than a career. They define character. Last night's unveiling of Meghan Sussex's As Ever products at Godmother's bookstore was one such moment. A convergence of artistry, purpose, and quiet triumph. It was not merely an event, it was a statement of what grace under pressure truly looks like. Surrounded by a community of creators and admirers, Meghan stood at the heart of it all, not as a figure of fame, but as a woman who has worked tirelessly to build something of meaning. And standing symbolically beside her, though not in person, was Oprah Winfrey. The woman whose belief in authenticity and excellence helped illuminate Meghan's brand to the world through Oprah's Favorite Things 2025. The synergy between these two women, one the embodiment of enduring influence, the other of emerging independence, told a powerful story of support, faith, and shared purpose. The evening itself was as beautifully orchestrated as the woman it celebrated. Godmother's bookstore glowed with understated sophistication, a space bathed in amber light, its wooden shelves lined with books, its tables adorned with jars of As Ever's signature fruit spreads that shimmered like jewels in the soft illumination. The scent of fresh blooms filled the air, mingling with hints of citrus and berry from the open jars that guests sampled with curiosity and delight. It was the kind of atmosphere that reminded everyone that refinement does not need extravagance. It requires heart, and that was in abundance. Meghan Sussex's vision was evident in every detail, from the hand-tied ribbons to the subtle palette of cream, gold, and blush that defined the decor. Every corner of that space whispered of thoughtful design, of patience, and of pride in craft. There was no glitz, no pretense, just a celebration of creation and connection. Those who have followed Meghan's journey understood that this evening represented much more than the introduction of a product. It was a continuation of a story that began long before, a story of resilience, reinvention, and quiet determination. Meghan Sussex has faced scrutiny that would have silenced most, yet she has chosen not to respond through words, but through work. As Ever is the manifestation of that work, a reflection of her belief that beauty, honesty, and sincerity still matter. It is not a brand built on image, but on intention. Through it, she has found a way to share her heart without saying a word, to connect with people through craft rather than commentary. And to see that vision recognized by someone as respected and discerning as Oprah Winfrey only reinforces what many already knew: that Meghan Sussex is a woman of substance whose efforts deserve the light now shining upon them. Oprah's Favorite Things list is not a mere catalogue of luxury. It is a cultural moment each year, one that celebrates quality, care, and meaning. For Meghan's As Ever signature fruit spread gift box to appear on that list is both a personal victory and a public affirmation. The selection process is deeply curated, often spotlighting products that bring warmth and joy into everyday life, two qualities that define As Ever's essence. The inclusion of Meghan's creation is therefore symbolic of more than success. It is recognition of her artistry, her authenticity, and her ability to create something rooted in love. It is the kind of moment that validates the long hours, the rebranding, the research, and the relentless pursuit of excellence that Meghan has quietly undertaken behind the scenes. There is also something deeply touching about how Oprah has continued to stand by Meghan, not through public declarations, but through meaningful actions. Their relationship, grounded in mutual respect and an understanding of purpose, has become one of the most genuine alliances in modern culture. Oprah's belief in Meghan has never wavered. She has seen beyond the headlines and chosen to focus on the woman, the mother, the creator, the thinker, who has sought to build something that reflects her truth. When Oprah placed As Ever on her Favorite Things 2025 list, it was not just a gesture of friendship, it was a statement that Meghan's work speaks for itself, that sincerity still has a place in success, and that women supporting women remains one of the most transformative forces in the world. Inside Godmother's bookstore, that message was everywhere. The walls themselves seemed to hum with quiet celebration as guests admired the displays and shared conversations about the inspiration behind As Ever. Meghan, gracious as always, greeted each guest with warmth, her composure radiant, her joy unmistakable. There was no grand performance, only authenticity. It is this rare ability to make people feel both seen and inspired that has always set Meghan apart. Her demeanor carries both humility and assurance, the mark of someone who has learned not to chase approval, but to build something lasting. Each jar of as ever fruit spread, raspberry, strawberry, orange marmalade, was arranged with care, representing not just flavor, but feeling. They were more than condiments. They were symbols of craftsmanship and continuity, of the belief that life's simplest pleasures are often its most profound. The night's ambiance was heightened by an unspoken sense of vindication. For too long, Meghan has been portrayed through the distorted lens of others. Yet here she was, surrounded by evidence of her own making, proof that integrity and hard work ultimately outshine speculation. The room buzzed with admiration, not only for what was achieved, but for how it was achieved. It is easy to forget, in an age obsessed with instant results, that true success is often quiet, built in the background, and unveiled only when ready. Meghan Sussex has demonstrated that patience and perseverance still hold power. She has built as ever not as a fleeting venture, but as an enduring brand rooted in values. The significance of Oprah's endorsement extends far beyond business. It represents alignment, a meeting of minds and missions. Oprah has long been a voice for intentional living, for doing good through doing well. Meghan, through As Ever, embodies that very philosophy. The collaboration between them, even indirectly, bridges two generations of women who use their platforms to elevate purpose over popularity. It is a partnership that feels natural. Two women who have each weathered public storms, yet emerged with clarity, compassion, and conviction. Their shared understanding of resilience and reinvention is perhaps what binds them most. For Meghan, this acknowledgement marks a turning point. Being featured in Oprah's Favorite Things 2025 will open new doors, not only in the commercial sense, but in how her brand will be perceived globally. It gives As Ever a platform that few emerging lifestyle brands ever achieve, propelling it into homes and hearts worldwide. The exposure that comes with Oprah's endorsement is unmatched, but what makes it particularly special for Meghan is that it comes from someone she admires and trusts. Oprah's influence extends beyond media. It touches the fabric of culture itself. Her recommendation can transform a brand's trajectory, and in this case, it will do so for a venture born of authenticity and care. Yet, amid all the professional success, the emotional undertone of the evening was impossible to ignore. For Meghan, this is personal. As Ever is not a corporate enterprise. It is her creative expression, her statement of identity after years of being defined by others. Through it, she has reclaimed her voice. Not through interviews or speeches, but through creation. The simplicity of her products, the beauty of their presentation, and the sincerity of their story mirror who she has always been at her core. Watching her smile as she introduced As Ever to new admirers was to witness quiet triumph, not the boastful kind, but the fulfillment that comes from knowing one's work has finally been understood. There was a moment during the event, as the lights softened and the crowd thinned, when Meghan stood by one of the displays, gently adjusting a jar that had been slightly moved. It was a small gesture, almost unnoticeable to others, but deeply telling. It showed the precision and personal investment she pours into her work. Every detail matters to her, not for appearance's sake, but because it reflects respect, for craft, for her audience, and for herself. That is what makes As Ever different. It is not a mass-produced brand designed for attention. It is a labor of love, created by someone who understands the value of integrity. As the night came to a close, the sense of celebration lingered. Conversations continued in soft tones, guests taking one last look at the displays before departing with their chosen jars and warm smiles. Outside, the air of Summerland was cool, carrying with it the scent of sea breeze and citrus, almost as if the evening itself wanted to remember. Inside, Meghan remained a while longer, speaking quietly with the event organizers, thanking them, ensuring that everything was left just as it had been found. There was gratitude in every action, proof of a leader who values people as much as product. This is what defines Meghan Sussex. She does not seek grandeur, she creates meaning. She does not crave approval, she earns respect. Through all the noise that has tried to drown her light, she has remained steadfast in her vision, to build, to nurture, to inspire. As Ever is an extension of that vision, and with Oprah's recognition, it now stands as a symbol of what can happen when authenticity meets opportunity. It is not just about jams and spreads. It is about reintroducing the world to the values that matter: craftsmanship, community, and compassion. In the broader cultural landscape, this moment is also emblematic of something larger: the resurgence of women-driven creation grounded in heart. Meghan and Oprah represent two sides of that same spirit: one who has built an empire of empowerment, and one who continues to shape her legacy with quiet grace. Their connection serves as a reminder that when women choose collaboration over competition, they change the narrative for everyone. Oprah's platform amplifies Meghan's purpose, and Meghan's work affirms the trust Oprah places in authenticity. Together, even without a formal partnership, they show that solidarity is still the most powerful form of influence. Last night was not just a success story, it was a statement of resilience rewarded. Meghan Sussex's path has never been easy, yet through perseverance, she has found her rhythm again. Her brand now carries not only her name but her essence, that blend of sophistication, sincerity, and strength that defines her. With as ever shining under Oprah's light, the world is reminded that grace is not weakness, and kindness is not naivete. They are choices, deliberate and powerful, and Meghan embodies them both effortlessly. As the morning dawned after the event, news of as ever's inclusion in Oprah's favorite things spread across social media, met with excitement and admiration. The reaction was one of joy, not just for the product, but for the woman behind it. For many, it was a long overdue recognition of Meghan's talent and tenacity. And as her jars of fruit spread begin to find their way into homes this holiday season, they carry with them more than flavor. They carry a message that good things, truly good things, come from sincerity. In a world quick to criticize, Meghan Sussex continues to build quietly, gracefully, and with purpose. And with Oprah Winfrey's support lighting her path, she stands not as a symbol of controversy, but of composure and creativity. The As Ever launch at Godmother's bookstore was more than an evening of celebration. It was a reminder of what happens when hard work meets genuine support, when purpose meets partnership, and when a woman dares to define success on her own terms. Meghan Sussex has done just that. Her journey is far from over, but her message is already clear. With authenticity, kindness, and vision, she will keep rising, as ever.